All right, you guys, I'm going to talk about the interview process. You are going to interview at least two people and hopefully three people. I mean, they're sheltered in place. What else do they have to do except to talk to you, right? So, again, minimum of two, highly recommend three. Literally, most consistently, this is where students learn the most about their topic is through these interviews. So, you want to pick good people, find good people, start asking family members if they know someone that is, works in the field of your topic. All right, and start to get some connections, lay the groundwork to get some connections. Okay. So maybe parents, maybe people that might be a spouse of somebody that they work with, could be a neighbor you could ask. I mean, you get creative. I'm going to give you some ideas of people as well that you can cold call and email and stuff too. All right. You want to focus on the people whose specialty and area of expertise is related to your topic. All right. So, for example, you would not try to interview the Eastview nurse if your topic was how do we stop the spread of HIV and AIDS? Okay. She's a nurse. Does she know how HIV and AIDS are spread? Yes, but that is not her area of expertise. She is not dealing with HIV patients on a day-to-day basis. Okay. If you have a topic of alcohol or drugs, ER doctor or ER nurse is a fantastic interview. Why? Because they're seeing people come in with overdoses, injuries related to, and accidents related to use. Okay. Um, Also, this is a good time to talk about the difference between a professional and someone who just has experience. All right. You need to interview a professional, someone who's collecting a paycheck in that area. So, for example, if my topic were how do we prevent prescription pill and opioid misuse and abuse, I might know somebody who was an addict, okay, who used prescription pills, misused prescription pills. um, that doesn't count as a professional interview. Now, I could interview them for some great better understanding of the topic. Maybe I could get something from them, a statement from them, or maybe they would describe what their day-to-day life was like or their use was like, and that'd be a fantastic attention getter, right? But they are not a professional. Now, if they went to rehab, got clean, then got their chemical dependency counselor license, and now they counsel people in their journey to sobriety, now we're talking a professional. Notice the difference between those two. Okay. So again, focus on someone whose specialty is in that area, or it's just not going to be a good interview. They're not going to know enough to give you really good information. All right. And make sure they're a professional, not just somebody who is, had a mental illness because your topic is mental illness. No, they're collecting a paycheck. All right. Contacting them. Introduce yourself, use your app's email, all right, because that's professional. They recognize that it comes from a real place. Um, Share your why. I'm working on a group research project. We're trying to answer the question of how do we prevent blah, 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 all right? So share your driving question, okay? You can only interview them over the phone, all right, or on a Zoom/Google Meet, that type of situation, okay? Unless you happen to live with them. Maybe you have a parent who is in that area, their career's in that area, then fantastic. You can interview them in person, but I would encourage you still to do a Zoom or Google Meet so that everybody else in your group can take part um, and hear everything. All right. Make sure you thank them, even if they can't give you an interview. And if they can't give you an interview, always ask them if they know someone who they would recommend that you try to contact. All right, because then when you send that person an email, you can say, Dr. So and so told me to contact you, that you might be a great resource for an interview I'm trying to set up. All right. Okay. Everyone in your group has to help conduct at least one interview. Okay. Again, ideally, this is over Zoom so you can record it. Okay. Otherwise, ask, and you have to get permission a good 24, 48 hours in advance to record it. Don't spring that on them 2 minutes before the interview starts. All right. Phone interview, you could, I suppose you could record that, but it's going to be tougher because only you can hear that, like your group mates can't be there. So I would really push you towards doing a Google Meet or a Zoom. Okay, I think everybody's pretty much connected using one of those two forms of communication these days, so it should be fine. Okay, if you can't make one interview that this is the only time that works for that person, it works for 3 out of the 5 or 3 out of the 4 people in your group, let those 3 do it. Okay, and then the people who couldn't do it, you have to be involved in the next one. And again, I would highly recommend that everybody takes part in all interviews because again, it's the best part. It's where you learn the most. When you get a chance to talk to someone who is super knowledgeable and super passionate about your topic area, that is what's fun. That is what's cool. All right, so reach out, ask the adults in your life to try to help you get an interview. Okay, how many questions do you want to have prepared in advance? I would say 7 to 10. All right, and then you'll come up with some follow-up questions in the moment. All right, so for example, one question that you all should ask, and not at the right at the very beginning, but by the end, is your driving question. In your opinion, how would you X, Y, or Z? Right? How would you better design communities to improve people's health? How would you help prevent opioid use and abuse or human trafficking or whatever, and see what they say? Right? They're going to say something. And then easy follow-up question, has that ever been done? Was it successful? Why or why not? Why aren't they doing it now? Or why haven't they tried it if it's never been done, right? Those are the type of follow-up questions. Say more about that. Tell me more about that, right? Getting them to expand and elaborate on their answers to your questions, okay? Now, one person in your group, I would tell people ahead of time that the interview could take up to 30 minutes, somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes. Someone in your group should be the timekeeper, and if you hit that 30-minute time limit, after they get done answering that question, just say, hey, we told you it's going to be 30 minutes. It's been 30 minutes. We want to be respectful of your time. We can keep going with this, but we realize that you might have other things you need to do, and we could follow up, later this week or whatever. Okay, be respectful. That makes them more likely to grant interviews in the future, and just that's a professional thing to do. That's a very adulting thing to do, and that will garner some respect on their end for you. Okay. All right, so I would send them a reminder 24 hours in advance. That's when you could ask if you could record the interview. Okay. When you get done, thank them. Or send an email, right, to follow up and just say, hey, if there's anything else you thought of, feel free to send it my way or to contact me. I've been interviewed a few times for different things, and sometimes I'll literally come across a current event or something that is exactly on point with what the people were talking to me about. And if I don't have their contact information, I can't get them that information. There are plenty of times that I would have sent something to them that I think would have been just what they would have been really helpful and just what they needed. So make sure you get that follow-up after, about a day later, the next day, okay? And always at the end too, ask if they know anyone else, just like if they would have turned you down for the interview this time, hey, now that we've talked and you've kind of heard the types of questions that we're asking, is there somebody else that that can maybe give us a different perspective than yours, or somebody that you think would be good for us to talk to? All right, that's a great recommendation if they can do that, okay? So there's a link here to interview ideas. I'll click on that document in a second. One of your 2 or 3 interviews can be an Eastview faculty or staff member. One. All right. Again, area of expertise. Okay, area of expertise. So a nutrition person, that could be a wellness teacher that teaches about nutrition, aka Danelle and Egan. It could be a food services person, somebody employed by the district. Now, I wouldn't count that as Eastview. That I would consider that off campus if you got a hold of the person for the district who is in charge of all the food that students eat. All right, dietary folks. All right. The others should be off campus. They should be professors, researchers in the field, or currently, getting a paycheck because they're dealing with your topic on a day-to-day basis. Okay. One other thing I want to mention is when you start out the interview, once you get your interview, get it set up and actually start. Make sure you introduce yourself, tell them a little bit about the project, okay? Even if you did before, give them a quick reminder, and then, throw them some softballs, all right? AKA small talk, all right? Ask them, so how long have you been working in the field? Is this what you always wanted to do? Or how did you get to this? How did you find yourself here where you are right now? Like, what was your journey to get to the place that you are right now in your career? Let them just talk about themselves for a couple of minutes, then get into your questions that you previously had thought up and stuff. All right, and the same thing at the end is see if they have any questions for you. You'd be surprised. Sometimes they'll ask you questions, and that can be really good too. And sometimes you won't necessarily know the answers, but it'll get you thinking, and that'll better prepare you for stuff as well. All right, so I will link these two videos. I want you to watch them, and I want you to see one of them is a very poor interview and one of them is a much better interview, and notice the differences between the two, both verbal and nonverbal or body language differences. Ask the types of questions they ask, how they ask them. It's interesting. You're going to see some pretty stark differences. I think good things for you to learn and keep in mind when you do your own interviews as well. All right. Okay, this is the project tutorials. So that's in the group project info folder. All right, so you've got bad interview example video that I just pointed out, good interview example video I just pointed out, and then here's the link right here, interview ideas and info. Interview ideas and info. This is the key one. Click on that, and when you click on that, it'll bring you to this document right here. All right, you'll see there's table of contents. I think we've covered all of that. All right, then you can just scroll down. Here are links to different folks in public health. They're a little busy right now, I'll give you that. However, I bet you can still find people in your respective fields that are not dealing with COVID-19 right now, okay? But Harvard, I've had groups interview Harvard professors, 1 or 2 Johns Hopkins professors, 1 UNC professor, and a ton. The professors at the U of M have been just so just gracious with their time, and it's been amazing. And that is really, if you can find someone there, it's fantastic. So you can click on that. It'll bring you to the website that lists all the faculty. So you would try to infectious disease. If you click on that, you'll see Michael Osterholm and some other professors that have been interviewed with COVID-19. But let's see here. So if we go, let's take a look at injuries. All right, you might, changing that up. Go on the left here, food and nutrition, okay? So what you can do then is you'll see the different professors. You can also see their areas of expertise. So this person, although I clicked on nutrition, they've also done research and are considered an expert in alcohol, tobacco, and a bunch of other things as well. Okay, so you can click on a person, all right, and that will take you to it'll give you their contact info. Okay, so if you go over here, there's their picture, there's their phone number, email, etc. All right, so that is how you find a professor at the U of M in the School of Public Health, which is, I might add, in the top 10, usually in the top 6 to 8 schools of public health in the nation, and hence very high in the world as well. So great place to find some experts on the cutting edge of research, okay? Then when you scroll down, you're going to start to see the specific topics. All right, some of these things are linked, okay? Some of them is just saying police officers. Well, maybe the Eastview police officer would be somebody that you could interview right now, all right? So again, Mayor Mary, specific person, but really any local legislator, the city council members, all right? Lots of ideas there, some of whom have had sons and daughters go through Eastview, so they are particularly quick to respond to you. All right. So you can see there the difference. See again, physical activity, that's got some more people actually at Eastview. All right, but hey, if you go to Lifetime and you could interview a personal trainer there, you know, like whatever, they might be an expert, they might be a dietitian as well, okay, or they might know a dietitian that works at Lifetime, all right, or Training House. Fantastic, that's a good hookup right there. Okay, I don't even think I have that one on the list yet, but they have some nutritionists that work there. Okay, so there you go. All right. And then at the very end, if you scroll all the way down, gives you some good sentence starters and sort of starters of questions. Okay. Clarifying, paraphrasing, building on just your overall great communication tools there. All right, so that is plenty long of an explanation, but I think that should help you. And then as you meet with me, if you've got questions, I can take those questions when we Zoom. All right, good job, you guys.